ESPNU.
Back to the 15, running backwards, loose, free ball, touchdown, LSU. Mathieu picks it up and runs in, and LSU strikes.
LSU bringing the heat, loose football, scooped up at the 20. Mathieu will score.
Tremendous knack for making plays, and joining us now inside the DirecTV mobile studio down in Baton Rouge is the Bayou Bengals number 7. Tyrann Mathieu saw the plays against Oregon, last week against Kentucky, a couple of takeaways against West Virginia. Where does the mindset come from, Tyrann, to make those plays? Because you're not supposed to be able to do that game in, game out from a cornerback position.
You know, you just try to go out there, you know, and make as many plays as you can for your team. You know, those guys mean a lot to me, you know, and to put it all on the line for those guys, you know, for those guys to see, you know, is a tremendous honor for me.
Now here comes a Florida offense that's based on the speed of their running backs, Chris Rainey and Jeff Demps. You're a fast guy. You look forward to getting into a foot race with number 1 and number 28?
Yeah, you know, I'm ready for that. You know, those guys are track stars. You know, those guys got some world-class speed, you know, and I always told myself, you know, Florida has a different kind of speed, you know, than everyone else in the country. So, you know, it's really about us just being in the right spot at the right time, you know, and for that split second, you know, we don't want to doubt ourselves. You know, we want to make those sure tackles and play assignment football.
You've been jawing at wide receivers. That's considered by a lot of people a part of the game. You know, you can take a guy out of his game, get in his head mentally. Other people don't see it as a part of the game. How do you view those one-on-one battles on the edge and in the vocal department with those receivers?
You know, when you're on the field, you know, you just try to catch an edge, you know, any way as possible, you know, whether it be words, you know, whether it be the look in your eyes, you know, or the style of play that you have. So it's really about you just taking advantage of those guys' weaknesses, you know, and just trying to give your defense, you know, the best chance at stopping this guy, stopping that offense in a particular game.
Jordan Jefferson returned against Kentucky. What does it mean to have him back on the team as far as the guys inside the locker room?
You know, it means a lot to us, and it definitely means a lot to him. You know, just the game of football, and you know, he worked so hard this off season. He definitely was our leader. You know, coming into the season. You know, things happen for a reason. You know, and I think Jordan responded well to it. You know, and he still holds his head high. You know, and he knows where his teammates are at heart. You know, we definitely have his back. You know, and trying to pursue our dreams of a national championship. You know, with Jordan at quarterback.
Tyrann, thanks for your time, but I can't wait to see what you do next. You've done a lot already in the first month. Keep it going. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And meanwhile, you heard Tyrann say that Jefferson is the leader, and he said that his goal is to be the starter. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. He hasn't been shy about declaring his intentions. For now, he is a situational quarterback. To hear Les Miles tell it.
Jarrett Lee's our starter. You know, we've certainly accomplished a great deal with him at the helm. What we've always done is we've used the sum total of the skills that my team has to play on Saturday. I think that we would look at George Jefferson exactly that way. Not certain how ready he is to grasp great, you know, pieces of the offense, considering he's been really gone for several weeks. You know, we're going in first and foremost with Jarrett Lee.
Well, Jarrett Lee has thrown 7 touchdown passes so far in the 5 wins. That equals the total for Jefferson all of last season. And notice how Lee has managed the game well. Only 1 interception. That was a problem clearly for Jefferson, who does give them more dimensions. He uses athletic ability to beat Alabama. He's come up in some big situations, Kirk, but now with Jefferson back, and we know what the LSU players think of Jefferson, how much they admire him as a leader, but Lee has done all people have asked of him and a little bit more so far. So how should this play out?
Well, I think the first thing to see Les Miles welcome Jordan Jefferson back, I think was a no-brainer. Once he was able to take care of his legal issues, he needs his football team. So I think it's great that he's welcomed back in that locker room. But I do think it's a very sensitive subject because of the position. You know, early in the year against Oregon and Mississippi State, I think you looked at LSU's offense and it was like they're going to run Spencer Ware and Michael Ford. They're going to do just enough to complete a 3rd down and 4, and then they're going to win with defense and special teams. And all of a sudden, the success that they had on the road, Jarrett Lee, by the time he left Morgantown, was a confident, cocky quarterback, which he loved to see, with an ability to go downfield and really attack a defense if you load it up against the LSU running game. And I think he had kind of a bravado and attitude about him. And I think now the worst thing that could happen is you start tinkering with getting Jordan Jefferson reps. It's okay to bring him in as a different wrinkle to make defenses be aware that he can come in with a zone read package. But the worst thing that could happen, in my opinion, is to have Jarrett Lee come this far along to all of a sudden have the most consistent play at that position at LSU since going back to 07 with Matt Flynn, and all of a sudden have him peeking over his shoulder after he throws an interception or two or has a bad half, and then is Jordan Jefferson coming into the game. That, to me, could be a disaster for an offense that has really grown up here in these first 5 weeks of the season.
And the flip side is, Matt, that Jefferson clearly multiple times has won the job and is seen as the leader by the team.
Yeah, that's to me, those are the 2 biggest points. When they competed, they came back, and Jordan Jefferson, he got the job, whether it was last spring, whenever that happened, and it was affirmed. That was the first thing. And then, whose team is it? And you heard the guys talk, and you'll hear all this stuff, and it sounds like it's Jefferson's team, but Kirk brings up a great point, and that is this: never, ever mess with a team's confidence. Confidence separates all teams at all levels. And right now, LSU, they're on a roll, and they're starting to play really well. You know what they have defensively? Offensively, they're starting to pick it up. Jarrett Lee's playing good, and he, like you said, he came out of that game in West Virginia as a confident guy. That's huge.
We'll just see if he's one bad game away from going back to the bench. I mean, that's why they're watching closely in Baton Rouge and wondering.
Yeah.
And the numbers for Lee against Kentucky, it wasn't really a game where he was under duress, but the numbers are not very good when Jefferson was back and taking a quarterback sneak into the end zone for a touchdown and so on.
Well, you know the old adage, if you have 2, you don't have 1. It's still better to have another 1. So you have right now, you know you have 1A and you have 1B. That's a great position to be in.
A meeting in both down the stretch, who knows? All right. Meanwhile, in the SEC,